Hi, everyone. It's Norman Kochnick yet again. I'm here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning in Australia. So that makes it, what time is it in, let me think, what time is it in India? It's about 7:30, is that right? I think it's 7:30 p.m. And so it's dinner time for you guys. It's bedtime for me, but I'm more than happy to be here. Our special guest today will be Senator or Mervyn Richards, and Mervyn Richards is his name. Yes, a very famous name in terms of the last name in particular. This man is equally as esteemed, equally as amazing, has so many amazing stories to tell. I have a lot of regard for the man. He's a statesman, to say the least, in his native country of Antigua and Barbuda. Where that is, it's in the West Indies or the Caribbean. It's one of the most picturesque islands. It has, I'll let Merv talk about it more, but the reality is it has some apparently 364 beaches, one for every day of the year. And when there's a leap year, they find the extra beach and it becomes 365. My favourite beach by far is Jolly Beach. I've lied many a time on that beach and I've enjoyed it immensely. So Merv Richards actually had amazing, magnificent history with that island and the set of islands, because there's also the island of Barbuda. Not only that, there's also Antigua, an amazing part of the world, obviously extremely famous, well known throughout the world, especially India, for the island of Antigua being the St. John's, they're the main town, and Antigua recreational ground, Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, obviously for its incredible history of cricket. It has had the likes of obviously Andy Roberts, Curtly Ambrose, Winston Benjamin, there's a whole Dave Joseph, Ridley Jacob, Richie Richardson, an absolute legendary number of cricketers. But there's one I've just left out there. I think there's one that you may have realised I've left out. That's actually Sir Vivian Richards as well. An esteemed gentleman as he is, and his brother Merv is equally as important, especially to me, and I want to share him with this audience. We'll be joined by Aparna Saini as well. She will play a role in asking questions, and I'm just going to see if they're both here. In fact, it looks like we've lost Merv. He was actually on a second ago. I'm guessing Merv will have to reconnect. But yeah, I can talk about them in their absence for the moment. So Mervyn Richards and I, we met some 11 or 12 years ago specifically, when I visited Antigua for one of my many times and was given an incredible tour around the island by none other than a fellow called Shipwreck, or also known as Stanfield Joseph. He's a logistics man there, and he's more loved than the Prime Minister of Antigua, I must say. And he and Merv Richards were fantastic hosts of mine. And I believe very much that they welcome me with open arms, and it is the most hospitable, the most warmest, the most chilled, relaxing, most beautiful place. Quite frankly, I'm a bit biased, I think, in the world. I've been to lots of great places. I've travelled over 103 countries, but I'll always go back to Antigua and Barbuda. The Barbuda is known for its pink sand, and I've not only had the pleasure of being to that place, I've been there many times, and I will keep going back there. And I would advertise it to the whole of India that when COVID settles down, probably even now, quite frankly, I'm sure we'll find out more from Merv, that Antigua is a place of great solitude, incredible food, incredible people, the warmest, most loving people I've ever met. Let's just see if Merv's there now. No, we've lost him. I'm not sure where Merv is. He was there a second ago. He'll be there shortly, I'm sure. The reality is that this is somewhat of an amazing situation for me to be able to talk to him. Again, I can see a lot of questions coming through. Yes, Viv Richards was certainly a brutal batsman, and we'll hear a lot about that from his brother. The irony is that Merv is, I think, 1 year younger than Viv, and they've got a cricketing history. He's also a very, very famous soccer player representing Antigua, I believe. He reached the position of senator. They were major key players in tourism to the place. I mean, there are lots of islands in the West Indies. You've got your St. Lucia's, you've got your Barbados, you've got your Martinique, your Guadeloupe, Montserrat, which is not very far, St. Kitts and Nevis. There's a whole host of islands. I mean, right through to Grenada. You've got there's a whole range of places that you can play cricket, you can visit. some that are not cricket related. Martinique and Guadeloupe, very French, very much not like it. And the middle of that is Dominica, where they play cricket. I was there a few years ago watching Australia play, which was quite dramatic. I was just waiting to see where he is. I think we've actually got Merv back, and I'm going to add him to the stream.
Norman, can you hear me?
I can certainly hear you. I'm not seeing you just yet, but I can see you, hear you.
Right. But it says my browser's lost connection to your camera.
I can hear you loud and clear. Your visuals there. Maybe it's a button you have to press to produce a camera. There should be CAM for camera.
Sorry?
Can you see? There's on the bottom below the picture, there's the word CAM, which is for camera.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay, now I have it.
Aha! We've got you. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How are you? I've given a very long introduction about you. The whole of India knows about you already. So.
Oh, well. I have many friends in India. And most journalists.
Hang on a sec. I think I've got to actually, what I've got to do is while I'm talking to you, Merv, I'm just going to have to, I've got another esteemed guest coming on, and I think they've just lost their link as well. But while I'm doing it, I've briefed people on the beauty of Antigua and Barbados. But let's have a few minutes of you. This is your opportunity at the beginning of the video to actually live talk about your island. And I know you do that better than anyone else. Go ahead and explain about your islands, your set of islands.
Okay, we're 108 square miles, and we have 365 beaches, which we always boast as one for each day of the year. And
I love
and we've always found an extra one when it's a leap year.
But
people are very friendly.
Talk in absolute detail, because I know there's a lot for you to say there.
No. Could you please repeat that? I'm sorry.
I'm saying you talk about the number of beaches, which I always love. The fact that you've got 364 beaches for a normal year, and for that leap year, you find a beach out of the blue to make it one for every day of the year.
That's correct. Yes. And I know your favorite was Jolly Beach.
Oh, exactly. And I've already mentioned that. Jolly Beach is by far my favorite. I remember I talked about our esteemed friend shipwreck, Sir Stanfield, not Sir Stanfield, he should be called Sir, but Stanfield Joseph. How is he going, by the way?
The game?
No, Stanfield Joseph. Stanfield. Shipwreck.
Shipwreck. Still busy as ever, but I think his name has moved now from Busy Shipwreck to Busy Shipwreck because of so much things that he's tried to do all at once, you know.
I'm just having while I've actually our next guest. I've just got to try and get her connected. So I sent you the link, didn't I, Merv? Where did I send the link to you? I sent it to your WhatsApp or your messages? Where did I send it to?
My WhatsApp. You did send it to my WhatsApp.
Well, okay. Well, it must be the other phone. I think it might be. All right. I need to just confirm that. Bear with me for 1 second. I've just got to get offline for 1 second.
Sure.
But I can still hear you, and that's not a problem. So that's good. I've just got to get our other person on the line. It's just, this is the beauty of technology, that it's just an issue with technology that hang on, I'll go back online again. I should be able to get you back up online. Let me just pull you up. There we are. I'm back again. I'm just going to have to find the beauty of having these streamlined things. We always have this issue of invited guests. Here we go. I've got it now. Now I've got it. There we are. All right, we'll see her very shortly. I'm sure she's about to join us. Wonderful. Now, let's go back to, We have a lot of people. I can see. Can you see the questions people are asking? There's lots of questions, and they were kind of expecting your brother to be online because I used a photo not of you but of him, and they've hoped to see him. But look, I've explained about you. Now let's tell the viewers about your life. Now, you were a soccer player, were you not?
That's correct, yes. And also I played a bit of cricket. Cricket too was in my blood from a very early age. Our father was a cricketer. Yeah, our father was a cricketer. And he also played for Antigua and also the Leeward Islands. But
what was his first name again? What is his first name?
His name was Malcolm.
Malcolm Richards. Okay.
That's correct. And well, now that we have seen and known of Viv exploits, I think he was responsible first of all from the home to introduce us to the game cricket because he played too, and he started out very early, getting us on the field and playing in the backyard, and it leads me to say that sometimes the success starts in the home. You know, you have the support of the parents, and of course you go to a school where the sport is being played, and when you get home from school and come back into the community, that there is some kind of community person who also takes interest in that person to have them on the park on a Saturday and a Sunday. So I think it started really in the home from our father. And in that particular time, now I've heard that he could have made it to the West Indies team. But in those days, there was a bit of insularity where only the four big islands, which were Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Guyana, the selectors only looked at those islands until Sir Frank Worrell came here and had a sort of a cricket camp where we introduced to him some of our young, talented players. And that's where he saw quite a bit of talent and said that the future of West Indies cricket was going to come from the small islands. And it did after a while.
That must have been a very exciting time to be able to see an island like Antigua, which is quite frankly smaller than some of the others for sure, to witness that happening.
That is correct. That is correct. But in those days, there were no much television, and there weren't much modern technology now. So most of the energy was exerted in the park, playing football, cricket. And we also had a game which we call Lilliputian, which we played on our knees. And
what's that called?
It's called Lilliputian. We call it Lilliputian.
Lilliputian.
When you get down on Lilliputian.
Lilliputian. Never heard of it.
Lilliputian. It's a shorter version of cricket, whereas you get down on your knees. The stump's about the half the size of the normal Test cricket wicket, and you spin the ball with your fingers. So you learn from an early age how to play the spin.
That's amazing. I never knew that. Never heard of it. Wow.
Lilliputian. I think it derived from the what was it, Gulliver? The story of Gulliver the giant with the Lilliputians, the small people. So you got down on one knee and you had to play, and these guys would break the ball with your fingers, you know. And it moved very much like how my good friend there from India would get his bounce. I forgot his name there because I rate him as an extreme good batsman. Also a very good all-rounder. He's an off spinner. I forgot his name. Sorry?
Not Ravi Shastri? No?
No. He played. I think he played in the first test. Didn't get much wickets, but he's a very good all-rounder. He's very tall. A tall guy.
Okay.
Norman. I'm sorry, Norman. At my age, right? At my age, we're allowed to forget things, eh?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So
but there's nothing. Okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the brain, because if I'm remembering that I'm forgetting, I think my brain is still all right.
That's all right. So lily pushing, you're on your knees, you're spinning the ball, and you're playing a reduced form of cricket. And that was done inside?
No. That we did that on the park, and then you have to get up and run and yeah. I'm gonna try and see how best I can get photos or see if I can get a demonstration and send it to you on your WhatsApp
excellent.
as to how the game is played.
Well, let me make this clear, Mervyn.
And then growing up, we also played.
This episode we're talking now is one of many. I'm only starting with you. So the history of what you've got to say, which is invaluable for the viewers of India, we're going to talk about that aspect. We've got so many more things to talk about. So you've got photos, you can bring them to the next meeting.
Certainly, yes. I'll certainly do. Okay, that's fine. And then we migrated to what you call a tip and run.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Once you hit the ball, hit the ball, you have to run. So I believe that format that we played of tip and run was that it encourages good tight bowling, and also you had to apply good technique in order to hit the ball because there were a lot of kids on the field. There were more than 11 players on the field, you know.
Amazing.
And the one who could to throw at the stumps and get that wicket, that was his bat. Right. He had to go on bat. And the bowler also, if he bowled you, he had to go on bat. The person who caught you, I mean, he had to go on bat too. So that was tip and run. And I believe that is something that we should still try to encourage in our cricket now, because that was the early version of what is now known as the T20 or the international 50 overs.
It's true, because it would have improved your fielding. It would have given you that speed off the mark, and you guys know that better than anyone. So Merv, just one quick question before we go any further about your family. You had your mother and father. Tell me about your siblings.
Oh yes, we had two older brothers also, and one of them played also for the Leeward Islands and also for Antigua.
So what were their names?
The other one was, his name was Donald Richards. Donald.
Right.
As a matter of fact, he was the one who, he's the one who didn't live too far from us. He's older than us, but he was the one who started playing cricket first. And as a matter of fact, he did fairly well on the West Indian circuit because he was a fast bowler. And I believe at that particular time it was a bit, they were looked at him along with Van Bernholder, if you remember, from Barbados.
Yes, I know Van Bernholder. Yes, very well.
Yeah, and Van Bernholder was the one who got the edge over him. But he was very instrumental in Viv's development. He came to Dad and said, look, I think, and this Viv was in an early age, he was about 14 years old when he came and he said, I think it's time for Viv to move from the softball cricket, which we played in the park, which was not too far from us, and it was time for him to get to the bigger version of the hardball version of the game. And he came and paid for Viv's subscription to join the St. John's Cricket Club. St. John's Cricket Club, where he started at a very, very early age.
So there was Donald Richards. There was another brother.
David Richards, yes.
So Donald,
they both live in the States, yeah.
Right. So Donald and David, then Viv, and then
Viv, and then I'm the baby of the family.
The baby. Well, by only 1 year, though. Only 1 year.
That is correct.
So you had Donald, David, Vivi, and yourself. So you had four brothers.
Four boys. Four boys, yes.
No girls.
No girls whatsoever.
But there must have been a girl between you. Who was the girl between you? There must have been the girl. No?
Our mother.
Okay.
She could get Viv out anytime.
So
Only if they,
I'm just trying to picture the four of you either in the backyard or inside the house or out at the park playing cricket together collectively, all four of you, with other people as well. When did you work out? I mean, obviously you had your brothers play good cricket as well. When did you realize you had a brother that was special?
oh, from very early, very early. Our brothers and also the bigger guys in the community, they would come to the park after work, but we came from school before them, so we were in the park before them. But when they came, we had to vacate the park, but they always kept Viv.
Because of his
so to play with them, to play alongside them. So there was a bunch of little kids supporting Viv because he was our age group, playing against these bigger fellas, and giving a good account of himself. So I believe at that early age, now I'm looking at it, they saw something in him that they didn't see in the rest of us.
Right. How old are we talking about?
Allow him to play. Oh, he was being 10, 11, yeah.
Right. All right.
10, 11.
Merv, what I'm going to do is we've got an extra special guest who was on and she's a lovely lady, very, very much like a Shapali. No, her name's Aparna. I'll bring her on. Hang on.
Okay, fine. Okay. Fantastic.
So she's going to come. We'll get her into this conversation. She's been eagerly awaiting.
Good morning, my dear. Well, good morning to you, my dear.
Thank you, Norman, and a heartily welcome to Mervyn Richards. It's a lovely pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Aparna, Merv and I have a great relationship, in particular with the likes of Shripali Weerakkody from Sri Lanka. He and his brother Viv met her one day. When was that? About a few years ago at a match at the Sticky Wicket.
In the women's T20, yeah. Well, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
I can remember that vividly.
Beautiful person, yeah.
Now, guys, I've just got to let you know we're all together now. There's a bit of a Merv, for your sake as well. There are a stream of questions being asked next to me as we're talking. People are dying to find out more about not only you, but your brother, a whole list of things. They want to talk about the 1970s, about cricket. There's so many questions, we couldn't do it just in 5 hours. Okay. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be an introduction as you're doing now. And we're going to add to that and develop the story over a so-called series, maybe 2 or 3 episodes. We're going to talk about you and your family and develop that into what the experiences that you and you only can share, which is very special to me and particularly special to an Indian audience. They don't have the privilege, Merv, of knowing you like I do. And I'm telling you what, you were some foxy character when I met you the first time, in your white pants and your pink shirt, and the girls walking down the main street of St. John's. You were kissing every single girl on the hand. I thought, am I ever going to get to the end of the street? Because you must have kissed about 90 girls' hands. It was just out of hand. I'm surprised you didn't have a rash on your mouth because you were kissing so much. This chivalry is gone. You're very lucky, Aparna, that you're not there, because Merv would have your hand and he'd be kissing it like that.
Yeah.
He is. Well, I'm not lucky there.
I certainly miss those days now with the pandemic, because we are able to hug and kiss. But we're hoping to get back.
Being kissed on the hand. This man here, we all know his brother Sir Vivian Richards is known to be Mr. Cool. Absolute Mr. Cool. No. He's cool, but this man is cooler. He is. Viewers, you'll get to know Merv over a few episodes. You'll realise the power of this man. The suave of him is quite incredible. But anyway, I'm just going to get to that. We could talk about, Merv could talk about his way to approach a woman for an hour, and it'd be captivating viewing, but we can't do that. So we'll
let's have a special time for that.
Well, I'm definitely joining.
We'll get the editors in here cutting away certain parts.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, so Merv, we're talking about you and your life with your brother, your family, because it's very special to me. You've just mentioned things that I had no idea about. What was it called again? Lapushan? I can't remember the name of it.
Lilliputian.
Lilliputian. What? I never heard
Lilliputian.
of that. So on your knees playing cricket in the park with spin bowling. India, that's what you expect India to do. They love their spin bowling, not the West Indies. I expect Andy Roberts or Curtly Ambrose to come down from a long runner, or Winston Benjamin, the madman Winston Benjamin. My gosh. I can never forget going to
no. It was ball on the arm. On the arm.
Underarm.
It was ball, ball on the arm, like you bowling, like you're doing the American kind of bowling.
Are you trying to tell me? But hang on, this is breaking news here. The underarm bowling was not Greg Chappell and Travel Chapel. Was it your brothers? That is the true underarm bowling, not against New Zealand when Greg got Trevor up on. It happened.
I remember that. First. I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
This is breaking news, like that. Everyone. This is breaking news. It happened first at Parkin in St John's, Antigua, when the Richards family bowled underarm. That's where Greg Chappell saw it first. I bet he saw an old footage of that. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So Merv, we have said that when you start playing cricket on your knees, right? Like praying, you normally turn out good when you start standing on both legs. Well, I think I've spoken to Dulit Mendes, the ex-Sri Lankan batter, and he used to tell me he felt like he was on his knees when he faced the West Indies bowling for the 70s. He said it was the most, and he's only 5'0" himself, and him facing short bowling, it was like he was on his knees, exactly.
Right.
All right. So, okay. So I'm trying to picture. You've got your brother Viv, Donald, and David Richards, all four of you.
That's right.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, our father, he played for the Antigua and the Leeward Islands, right? Donald, he came and he played for Antigua also and the Leeward Islands, along with Viv and myself. We all played for Antigua and the Leeward Islands in cricket. But in those days, it was to play for the island, and then between the Leeward Islands, which were Montserrat, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Gwilla, which now includes St. Martin and the Virgin Islands. Now, after playing for the Leeward Islands, you had to play against the Windward Islands in those days.
So Leeward versus Windward.
That is correct. And then they would have a trial as to see who would play for the Combined Island side, which comprised of the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands. And so that unit would then have gone on to play in the regional tournament, Shell Shield, against Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana, and of course Trinidad and Tobago. Right? And then from there, the selectors of the West Indies will then look at you to see whether or not you merit a pick on a President 11 team, which I think now they've used as the A team for the different countries. Right? And you had to make that, and then from there, then you had to prove yourself to get on to the West Indies senior team. So there were quite a few steps that we in the smaller islands had to endure to get to the international level.
So let me summarize that. Leeward Island, you make the Leeward Island side, the Windward Island side, and you play in a tournament there. Then that would progress to playing against the main islands of Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you've seen some story. Well, the story, I think it was Ian Chappell who did made some comments about Viv when he played against Viv first. It was in Jamaica. Viv played for the President 11 team, right? Where Hammond, I think had bowled three his first 3 balls were 12 runs, which Viv dispatched. And I think Ian Chappell described it as says, "Wow, this guy, we never knew anything about this guy Richards." And he came in and wow, Hammond was one of our great fast bowlers, and he just dispatched him, bam, bam, bam. But of course, he didn't last that long because I think the 4th ball he got caught behind, and he said, little did he know that it would have gone on to know that this guy Richards would have been such a devastating batsman. So it was amazing. From the present 11 team that Viv was looked at together the West Indies team.
I mean, and the physical distancing too, because the islands are not close together. It's a hell of a trip to go between the islands. I mean, was Liat Airlines your method of getting around? Was that the airline?
That's correct. Yeah. Along with it.
We've lost you, Merv.
Along with British, which is now called Caribbean Airlines.
Right.
But they would fly to the bigger islands. We went mostly to the, yeah.
It's just amazing, guys. We've got to put this in perspective here. Everyone from India, you're watching this. A partner and I are in various parts of Sydney, Australia, and then some 36 hours away by plane through all sorts of obstacles. You get to basically Miami eventually, and then you head down, luckily if it's a direct flight, or maybe through New York, down to Antigua. And your time at the moment it is now 1:30 in the morning in Australia. It's some 8 p.m. in India, but it's actually 10:30 a.m. where you are. So I'm surprised I'm not seeing you in your pajamas. You're not wearing your pajamas? That's good. I'm glad about
that. Well, neither of us, Norman.
Sorry?
Neither of us are wearing pajamas.
Exactly. You guys should be wearing pajamas. I'm up already.
Let's not go there. Let's not go to pajamas. It's not the conversation that we had. Our viewers are horrified.
Maybe next time we have a pajama party.
But it shows the things that we do. It shows the things that we do just to make sure that we get information and things to our viewers and listeners.
So
exactly.
A party you're suggesting we call us for a pajama party, is that right? Is it called a pajama party?
Why not? For our viewers. Yes. I think it's a perfect time. And on that note, for our viewers, I would like to ask, obviously, sir, the 2 boys were lying in bed about to sleep when the older one of the 2 wrapped his arms around the cricket bat and told his younger brother, Marvin, I wish they would one day pay us to play cricket. And here we are. So whoever has watched these 2 brothers as teenagers, I mean, they would know. So what's your thoughts from on that? Because you said that Mervyn Richards were the most stylish of the 2 with more finis. It's been well known. Do you agree with me, Norman?
So who was the most stylish? Is that what you're saying? Now, look, I'm sorry. Viv is Mr. Cool. He has his Master Blaster sauce as well, which I remember purchasing. This lovely cricket bat-like bottle. And he's very saucy, very hot. But when you see Merv walk down the main street of St. John's, what's the street called? I know there's a Vivian Richards street, but what's the main drag down in St. John's? What was the main?
Market Street.
Market Street. When Merv and I walked down Market Street.
And also High Street.
Market and High Street, remember that? Basically, it's not that long a street, but it's made long because this man here does not stop. He doesn't stop stopping for women. If there's a beautiful woman within eyesight, then
I think he's more stylish, as I can see. Look at it.
No, I have to tell you, Norman. You know, some men also greeted me, but I think your eyes are only for the ladies.
That may well be true. All right. Just so I imagine you're all together. The brothers are playing cricket, whether it's the park or in the backyard or even within the lounge room, and you realize.
I've got to tell you here, Norman. Right? our two older brothers, Donald and David, they were our half brothers,
Okay.
I should say. Right? But we never view them as half brothers because I mean, our mom accepted them as one of the family, and we were always very close and you know we loved each other and we were always supportive of each other. You know.
That's very sweet.
So it's actually myself and Viv who have the same mother and father,
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Richards. You understand? But the
Yes.
two older brothers were outside brothers, but still we never considered them as outside. You know, outside. We
I
always
have
considered
the
them
same
as
situation. My brother is also half brother to me, so I
always
totally
very
understand.
close. We stick together in love and harmony.
Fantastic.
Right? So it was myself and Viv who got up early, and sometimes I would be the West Indies, and Viv would be England, or vice versa. You know, I'd be England and Viv would be the West Indies. And I can tell you, in those days, that England used to do very well when Viv was England. You know, you know, and we would play full innings. Like we would have the names of the players, and each time we batted, that was that was the name of the player, you know, and until 11 got out, you know. So, and Viv would sleep with his bat. He would sleep with his bat, and was always the first to wake up in the morning on a weekend or in the summer holidays to say first, which means first at bat. And then when I got up, I had to take the ball. I should have been a bowler, really.
So, do you follow cricket still heavily, Merv? Do you still follow the recent series from Australia?
No, yes, I really do. I really enjoy watching, you know, a good game of cricket. Very disappointingly, though, it has not been like that for the West Indies, for us in the West Indies, really now, because we lack planning and also we lack a lot between the ears, you know, above the shoulders. No, you see, and I think most of the players who are coming along now in the West Indies, they I think their priority is to get into the IPL or these big money games, and all they have to do is just to knock the ball out of the park, you know, and they make some big money, you know, playing in these particular leagues around the world, right? But I think, and what I saw the other day between India and Australia was as I mentioned to you, and I think I made that comment to you about the test. Test cricket is about test, the test of your character, right? The test of your commitment, your test of your patriotism, the test of confidence, you know, and the test of skill. And of course, as I mentioned also, is the will sometimes is more important than the skill, as we've seen with India in that test against Australia. That was one of the best tests that I've seen for a very, 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 very long time.
Isn't that wonderful?
So now,
yeah, it's wonderful
so
that
now
you think that.
Yeah, so you see, our West Indian players, we may be able in the IPL to hit 3 balls out of the park. You know, 6, 8, that's 18 runs, right? But because they have not gone through the test where they, you know, a playing test, or where they have developed that skill, right? Because I think a skilled batsman who plays test can adapt to the shorter versions of the game, right? Using
That's correct.
technique. But you can't come in as a one-day player or a T20 player and play test. You just haven't got that. And so most of these West Indian players will probably do well in the shorter version, the T20 game. But how long can they do that for? Sometimes they will get off, but then it's something that without your technique and proper application, you bound to give the ball and a chance of getting over it. So that's where our problem lies.
It's a sad side of cricket that the T20 format has taken over, and the lack of skill, lack of will has been lost. But not in this Test series. This Test series has proven that we've had a renaissance, a romance back to that, in my opinion. Now, just before I get you to answer that, Mervyn and Aparna, there's a question here. This is not related to cricket, by the way. And this is the sort of question I would expect Mervyn to ask. But Rahul C is asking, Aparna looks great with her hair and she looks gorgeous. Just a little bit of a tip there.
Babe! I'm sorry, someone.
No,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Okay, I'm just talking about
I'm so sorry for that. But that's the beauty of life, isn't it?
That's fine. Now,
yes, go on, Norman.
So I wanted to set the scene now. You've had your upbringing with your mother and father and your two stepbrothers and your brother Viv. When it came to the point when he was at home, I'm assuming he was at home when he was chosen to play for his country.
Sorry?
I'm sure Viv was still living at home. I'm sure Viv was still living at home when he was selected to play for his country.
Yeah.
Tell me that experience. What happened that day?
Okay.
Can you remember?
You got the call pretty early. You got the call pretty early from the domestic league, playing for the same St. John's that my brother also played for. As a matter of fact, I think it was he started out with the old man Gales, and the old man took in his pants a little, his cricket pants for him to start his first Leeward Islands game for Antigua. And then there was a game that he was playing against St. Kitts. In those days, we didn't have much training in umpiring. Certain guys who showed an interest were just selected just to umpire a game. And Viv was a young player, was playing against St. Kitts. The first ball I was bowled to him, it was a brilliant. Now, the whole country had come out to see this young 16-year-old guy play for the country. And
16.
the first ball was just dispatched to the boundary for 4. And the second one was an off spinner, and he pitched about leg and going, and he played at it, but he came off his pad, and there was a guy short, like, who caught him, and the umpire gave him out. And Viv, being young at 16, demonstrated that no, I didn't hit it. It came off my pad. Didn't have the third umpire to go to. And so he hesitated a little, and then he walked. But then the crowd saw that, and there was a big demonstration there. And then I don't know where the placards came from, but they were. It was like in about 5-10 minutes, there were placards saying, "No Vivi, no match. He has to bat. He has to bat again." But our father, who was a prison officer, and the prison was just next to the ground, and he was watching from the eastern side where he worked, and he came to the ground and he says, "No. In cricket, when you're out, you're out. Nobody bats 3 times in a cricket match." And he warned them. But then the crowd got very aggressive, and so they decided they were going to make him bat again. And I believe after that, Viv, I think he didn't last very long. I think in that game, he was out just for the 4, but batted 3 times. First in the history of cricket.
3 times.
Now, it's amazing. It's just, I can just picture a young 16-year-old Viv playing, and then the issue being that he got out.
Also,
and he was not really...
I want to think that he deliberately got himself out when he went back into bat. But then the Leeward Islands Cricket Board, which Antigua was a part of, decided that they were going to ban him for dissent. And so he was out of cricket for a year after that. And I think he learned his lesson, or whatever lessons to be learned, he learned from that particular game. And if you watch him play now, anytime he hits a ball, he nicks a ball, or he thinks he's out, he walks. He doesn't even wait for the umpire.
Wow, so that was a lesson or a process that he learnt back then from a very young age to just take the wicket and go. Now, just some of the questions. There's a lot of questions we're being asked from all over the place. What do you think of the current Indian team, Mervyn? Do you look at players like Pujara and players
Sorry.
You're losing the volume, huh?
I don't know. My audio seems to be going.
Okay. Quite normal.
Can I go get my maybe my headset, because I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not hearing you too well.
Okay. That's all right.
Can you hear me?
Aparna and I will talk. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Could you go for my headset for me? My earplug, please. Thank you.
The other one?
Yeah.
That's all right. Aparna.
I'm going to try the other one to see if he's.
No worries.
If he's
in the meantime, we're going to talk. I noticed some of the questions we're getting. We're getting questions about what the West Indies think.
On the side of it.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm hearing you, but it's very, very low, and I can't understand.
You can understand or you can't?
Norman, going to be loud.
I believe my ear said has run out of juice.
That's all right.
The last day of play.
That's all right. So I might just, while Merv's doing that, you might want to talk a bit about the questions. We've looked at.
I'm gonna try this. The other one.
Sure.
So give me a minute, please. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna try this.
So some of the questions we're seeing, we're looking at. There's questions around the relationship with Pujara. What does Merv think of Pujara?
Oh.
I see that Sunil Dutta has asked that question.
That was a culprit. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm hearing you much better now. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Good.
Aparna and I were just talking about the questions you're being asked. A person by the name of Sunil Dutta has asked a question. He'd like to know your thoughts on Pujara. Pujara, the batsman from. What's your thoughts on him?
That's one of my favorite. And the beauty about it really is the whole fact that. No, let me tell you, the Australians they weren't easy, eh? When I say they weren't easy, and that's the other part of the test that I really want to talk about also, right? Yeah. Was that those bowlers, Hazelwood and Cummins, right? They really, I mean, if you didn't have the heart of Pujara, I mean, another batsman would have like a ball or two after being hit. Right, would have given up if he didn't have that strong heart. Right, I have always admired him for his courage, and mark you, the ball after being hit, right, he got behind it as if it was nothing, and I think he was the foundation that started that whole victory for India. And he has always been a solid wall. I don't know if he will be entitled to get the wall from Rahul Dravid. He was also one of my favorite too, and
Saurav Ganguly.
That's correct. And look, it goes to show you too, right, that that if the first team for India, I tell you this now, if the first team for India were to fall sick and unable to play a particular test, and they brought in a second 11 Indian team, I think they would do just as well as the first team. There is so much talent, and I believe that
all those talent came from the whole creation of the IPL, exposing young players, and I think it's going to be very difficult to deal with an Indian team in the future.
Well, you think,
it's
Marvin, a question to you. You think that the retiring age of Indian cricketers should be brought forward because of so much talent, so everyone should get chance because everyone is doing so good. In this test, we saw the youngsters come and take the series home. So do you think that that should be done something to give everyone a chance, or because a lot of people are in the team that they don't even get probably a debut most of their life because everyone is doing good in Indian people now.
Right. Yeah. I think there is a time and a place when you can give them a little exposure, because sometimes you can bring a player even though he has the talent and the ability to go forward. Sometimes if he fails, it could have a devastating effect on him, even though he has a lot of talent. So you have to know the right time when you're going to bring him in, and I suppose it may move towards like when you're playing a football game, and your first team has the opponent 6-0, right? Then perhaps you can in a particular part of the game you can bring a young player in because you have that cushion. But I think it has to be tactically, and you have to do it in a way that it would not hamper them if they fail with the exposure that you're giving them, and I think they would do well.
So who's your?
But you have to definitely go with the experience and also the your best team at that particular point, or the team that you think the wicket would be favorable for in your selection.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to ask Norman and you both, who is the best favorite cricketer in Indian team and your favorite football player? Both of you, actually.
Well, let me tell you something, right? If my life depended on an innings, I would like to get Mr. Kohli's number, right? And if Kohli's unavailable, I'll go down to Australia and see if I can get Mr. Smith's number, right? Then you right? Who else? I have a couple of numbers. I have Joe Root's number also, and Pajara somewhere in the back pocket.
So we're not talking about getting numbers. This is getting numbers to talk to them. I'm hoping that's what it is. But
what do you mean? No.
All right. So let me summarize. You would if you had to pick some phone numbers, you'd get Kohli's first, then you would get Steve Smith's.
Yes.
Pajara's in the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
You've already got Joe Root's.
That's right.
Okay, that's a good summary.
Yeah. I like Joe Root a lot.
What's your thoughts?
But let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
If I need aggression, right? And there's something that we say in the West Indies here, really, is that you play what you know. You if you're confident and you believe in yourself, right? You should just be yourself. Not because you're playing a test that you need to to play a role that you're really not accustomed to, right? Rohit Sharma. Oh my God, that guy is incredible, right? And the difference between being good and being great is that the good players attack the balls that are bad, And the great players, they play down the ball that they can't hit away. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, so if you're a
great
good player,
players,
you're playing against the bad ball. But
they will play the ball that great player, you play the ball that you can't hit away.
Like your brother, basically.
That's the difference between good and great. And I think this is Coley. Coley is the kind of player that I mean, he plays tests like it's a one-day or T20 because of his ability to pick that ball up early, and he plays a sensible cricket shot, where other players would probably foot in the wrong line and body not here, but they still get the ball to the boundary. But he plays sensible cricket shots in a one-day and a T20, just as how he plays in the test. And that is a man full of confidence in his ability to face any kind of bowling attack. So
you're saying that Coley is great in your opinion? Rohit Sharma is good, but not that great?
Definitely.
Okay.
No. Well, no, Sharma is good, but what I'm saying, I would prefer to see him play like how Sharma plays. He
be himself.
Play. Yeah. He's attacking batsman. Just attack. That's Sharma. That's right.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like your brother again was very similar to that. The other question we've got here.
Exactly. Regardless of the situation, it could be 4 wickets for 10 runs. Right? You cannot take into consideration. If you have the confidence and you believe in yourself, you cannot think about, 5 wickets, so I've got to dig myself in. No, play your normal role.
True.
You'll be more successful with that, I believe.
So I'm conscious.
There were times when
we've had so much fun. Merv, we had so much fun. We've already gone 57 minutes. You and I could talk for.
You're kidding me.
We could talk here for 4 hours. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yes, we can. Oh yeah.
Just one question I wanted to finish on for this episode because. So
yes,
okay, Pani, you can ask the question, but we're going to finish with one strong question now. Pani, you're going to talk about the captaincy, eh? Yeah. So we're going to talk about the captaincy question, about the current Indian captaincy, and then we'll finish off this conversation. But we're going to bring you back again, Merv, and we're going to get more into the depths of other aspects of West Indian cricket as well, which the viewers are wanting. We're going to get all the questions together and talk about it next time. But the last question, Pani, you ask it.
Yes, darling.
Well, ego, Norman.
No, you can talk. Okay, all right. The question that they're asking about it, you've talked about the greatness of batters, but in terms of captaincy, you've got Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Rahane. Those 3 players. I think it's Shivam Mishra has asked this question. Kohli, Rahane, and Sharma. They've all basically had roles as captain or vice captain in this team. What's your thoughts between the 3 of them? Who's your standout captain?
I would say Kohli, but you see, I would say Kohli. I'm going to tell you what too. If India has those 3 guys on the field at one time, oh my God, you have 3 captains that could converse with each other. Oh, that's a plus. But Kohli, for his passion and his attitude of leading by example, his attitude of what should I say? His attitude of not wanting to lose is all that I would give him the edge above the other 2. Right?
Who is the player that you would, when back, we're talking back, like Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid time, who do you think was the actual captain that can match or get close to Virat Kohli? To
Dhoni, you said?
Dhoni? Virat Kohli. So Dhoni was. You think Dhoni was?
No. I was trying to figure. I was trying to get the. I didn't hear you too well. Yep. At one point, so I wasn't sure of the question that you asked.
Repeat the question.
So who do you think is? who do you think that Virat Kohli is as close captain or as good captain back in the days when there was Saurav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar? So who do you think is as good or close to Virat Kohli at the moment in Indian team?
In the Indian team? Okay, yes. I would say Dhoni, definitely. Dhoni, yeah. Dhoni. I would definitely say Dhoni. You've had some very good captains before, very, very unlike what the English used to do. The English used to, you had to go to Oxford or Cambridge, I think, to captain an English team, whether you could bat or not bowl, but they wanted a brain on the field, But now, in these days, it comes all in the talent of a batter or bowler. Unfortunately, it's very you hardly. It's always a wicket keeper or a good batsman who always gets the captaincy. I don't know, a good bowler. And I was listening a little earlier to, I think, Norman, a comment that was made by Penasa when he was, and that is true. I totally agree with him as to the fact that Shane Warne, he has a brilliant cricket brain. I mean, you can hear it in his commentary, and his analyzing of the batsman or what should be done. And he just showed that when he was playing, that he was a great thinker, and I think that was that made him so successful in his career as the player that he was.
This has been magnificent, guys. I have loved this. This has been like I'm sitting in your lounge room, not with pajamas. I would be fully clothed, but I'd be sitting with Merv, talking about things. And I'm going to talk about one episode, Merv. I'm going to relive for our audience an experience that I had in 2010 with you and a few people. That experience, I have to tell the story, and you're all going to listen to it because it's going to be so much fun. That was such a story. I have to share it with you. So everyone, we've got so many people have been giving us so many questions. We're going to bottle them up for next time. But I want to thank you, the Honourable Senator Mervyn Richards. I'll call you the Pope of Antigua. Is that a good term? The Pope? I mean, you kissed a lot of hands.
Well, If Antigua is holiness, you could call me the Pope.
The Pope used to kiss hands. That's what you did. Maybe that's what you did. I'm not sure. But anyway. And Aparna, thank you once again. It's way past Aparna's bedtime. It's way past my bedtime. Merv, you're just getting up in the morning.
All right.
That's what time zones we've got going on.
That's good.
And all our viewers.
Yeah, and I want to thank you. Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys.
No, I want to thank you very much for having me. And I want to say hello to India and all your viewers around the world. We've had a great time, and we're definitely going to do this again. God blessing upon you all.
So namaste. So namaste.
Namaste.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, guys. We'll get together. Thanks, Mervyn. Aparna, you can leave us now and go off to Lullaby or wherever you go. We'll talk very soon.
Get something to eat. Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay, buddy. Good.
Now, Merv, you've got to hang up now. Otherwise,
I'll leave it up.
All the best. You got to press the little button there.
Good.
I can do that.
Okay, my buddy. Good.
Just hit the delete. You got it? All right. Thank you, everyone. That's been a very long session, but I think we all have to appreciate how significant that man was, Mervyn Richards, the brother of Sir Vivian Richards, but the stories that can be told are like a gem to talk about. So thank you again. View, like, and share your comments. There's a lot of questions here. I'll hope to talk to you very soon again. That was Mervyn Richards, Sir Vivian Richards' brother, an amazing person. The whole family situation, you can imagine what that would have been like, having a legend as a brother. Stay tuned, everyone. This is Norman Koshnik for Eyes on Cricket. Good night.